It was the month before the draft, and all through the house, not a single. I don't know. It's mock draft season, though. I'm here with my first iteration of my mock draft. I hope you guys enjoy. We're just going to get straight into it. At number one, I have Fernando Mendoza. Not really much to talk about here. I have a whole breakdown on him on this channel if you guys would like to go watch that. He's polished. He's the best pro-ready quarterback out of all the quarterbacks in this class. I think he's the best quarterback, obviously, going number one overall, but he's the most pro-ready to me, and you need a quarterback. He's your franchise guy. Quarterback has so much value, and Fernando's a good quarterback to be taken at number one. Gino's not your guy, and, you're going to try to build for the future. I worry about him when it comes to the pressure that's going to be coming with him, but I think it'll be all right. Number two, I have Ruben Bain. Aaron Glenn is going to want to bolster up that defense, and what better way to do that with Ruben Bain Jr. This dude is a freak of nature athlete. He's so powerful. He has great, powerful hands. He can set the edge and run games. He can still get after the quarterback with his bull rush. He's so witchy for his size. He's 275, and he just kind of anchors down on you, and as a lineman that's really hard to counter. So he's probably the best fit for me at the Jets for two. Number three, I have Arvell Reese. Kind of the same reason as the Jets. You need pass rush. Arvell Reese can also play off ball, but I think you're drafting him at 3 because you're projecting him to become a full-time edge rusher. Think of a player like Micah Parsons, who came into the league playing off-ball and on the edge, but ended up becoming a true edge. Arvell Reese has that versatility for you. Honestly, if Ruben Bain was at 3, it would be Ruben Bain's. Just anything on the defensive line for Arizona I like, and, something to you got to generate pressure if you're Arizona, and I think Arvell Reese does an amazing job of that. At number 4, I have Francis Mauigoa. You got Robert Saleh coming in. You have Brian Daboll coming in. Your OC likes a lot of power runs. We've seen what he did in Buffalo with Josh Allen with the power QB runs. I don't know if he's going to run them with Cam Ward, but he likes power running football. Francis Mauigoa is that guy. He's a good, powerful run blocker. He can't get beat with power. He has great, powerful punch. He really lets defenders touch him first. Pause. But he is always the first one getting his hands out to them first, which I really like. He's super efficient in pass pro. He's just a big guy who has such a low center of gravity, and I think somebody like that could be valuable for the Titans. He's my number 1 tackle, so I like this pick here. At 5, you have John Harbaugh coming in. What are they going to do? Well, why not try to replicate a guy that they used to have over there in Baltimore and Kyle Hamilton with Caleb Downs? He's maybe not as versatile as Kyle Hamilton is. He's smaller framed, but he does play bigger than his size would suggest. He's good at filling the run gaps. He's good in zone. He can play man. He can come down and, guard a slot receiver, guard a tight end. He can play in the box. He's very versatile. He played a lot of 2-high safety at Ohio State. So how is he going to translate as just a true 1-high safety if it were to come to that? But I don't think it will, because 2-high safeties are now a thing. Today's modern NFL defenses. I think he'll fit right in. He's a plug-and-play guy. I like Caleb Downs here. At number 6, I have Spencer Fano, the second tackle off the board here, if we can find him. There he is. Spencer Fano, he's super agile for his size. Watching him, when he was going out on blocks, like on pulls and all that, and, outside zone runs, he was getting out there quick. And, you look at the Browns, you're going to have Quinshon Judkins coming back. You got to protect Shedeur Sanders. You got to keep your guy upright. That's the main thing with quarterbacks, right? We talked about it with Fernando. Unfortunately, he's not going to really have that good offensive line help, but you got to protect Shedeur. Give somebody like Spencer Fano who could just hunker down on a defensive lineman. He's super good in pass pro, and I like the overall fit there. You lose Todd Monken, so how's a new OC going to come in and utilize him? We'll have to see, but I still like Spencer Fano here. Number 7, I have Sonny Styles, who is so polished. When you watch him, you would think that this dude's already a pro. He never misses tackles. He has great play recognition. He's an amazing athlete. He's super quick. He's a stone wall. When he wraps up, he doesn't allow the extra yards. He doesn't allow people to fight for yards on him. Like, he's a stone wall. And I think, with Bobby Wagner getting older, Frankie Louvu, you're obviously, not as old, but still older. You got to replace them somehow, and I think Sonny Styles is almost a Bobby Wagner 2.0, like a younger Bobby Wagner 2.0. I really, really like what he could do for that defense. He could be your QB of the defense, and I just think that Sonny Styles could come in and play day one, even if that has to be over Bobby Wagner. Love Bobby Wagner, but, his time's up. Number 8, I have Carnell Tate. Kind of talked about him also. He's 6'2", but he moves like he's 5'11". He's super fluid in his routes. He's quick out of his breaks. He's a 50-50 guy. He can go up and get it, but that's not his only trait. This dude is also a red zone threat. He's also great after the catch. He's a do-it-all pony. You got to get somebody else on the other side of Chris Olave. Help out your guy Tyler Shuck if he is your future quarterback. And I think Carnell Tate is a QB's best friend in terms of the receivers I've seen. He's my receiver 1. So Carnell Tate here. Just got to help Chris Olave, take some of the pressure off of him if he could stay healthy, of course, which I hope. Number 9, I have another receiver going off the board, Mekhi Lemon. Mekhi Lemon is a more of a rat guy, as Carnell Tate's more of a down the field, go up and get it kind of guy. He's still a great route runner. He's quick. He's twitchy. He can make the people miss. He's fast out of his route cuts. I mean, watching him run routes, it was like he was getting shot out of a slingshot once his cuts were there. So he's a super good route runner. He's quick out of his breaks. I love what he could do in Kansas City's scheme. Xavier Worthy is not a receiver 1, right? Rashee Rice is probably going to be your X receiver. Xavier Worthy, I think this kind of opens up the book for him if Mekhi Lemon comes in, because you could do more things with Worthy and scheme him on these screens, and Mekhi Lemon could be the other guy that you scheme up on the screens, because you have 2 really good rat guys, and I think you got to give Mahomes a dangerous weapon. Mekhi Lemon is definitely that. Number 10, I have Peter Woods going. I know, this defense sucks, like very bad, very, very bad. And Peter Woods, to me, is maybe one of the best defensive line prospects. I mean, he's definitely the most polished, in my opinion. Maybe necessarily potential-wise, but he's definitely the best polished defensive lineman coming out of the draft. Your defensive line, that is. He's a great run defender. He has such a low center of gravity and gets leverage up in his hands. He can collapse the interior of a pocket so good. And I understand they need secondary, but I think, to me, pass rush is a little bit more valuable in this situation, because if you can't get after the quarterback to generate pressure, you can't force the errant throws for your secondary. You gotta, it can't all be on the secondary. Your secondary needs to pass rush to get after the guys. They can't be covering for 8, 9, 10 seconds. Peter Woods could definitely come in and help. Now, number 11, I have maybe my favorite player in this draft. It was Caleb Downs for a while until I seen this dude on tape. That's Jermod McCoy. Oh my God, I don't know if I've ever watched a player on tape and I was visibly saying, oh my God, while I was watching. I mean, he's an amazing athlete, and every time you think he gets beat, he just has great recovery speed. He mirrors receivers all route. I mean, everything the receiver does, Jermod McCoy is doing. And he breaks on routes. He's watching QB's eyes. He has great ball instincts. This dude is maybe my favorite prospect in the draft, Jermod McCoy is. And if he were to play last year, I guarantee you, he would go top 10. Guaranteed. I mean, watching him, I'm telling you, I've never watched a player where I was visibly saying out loud to myself, alone in my room at 4 a.m, like, oh my God. He is so amazing. He's a quick athlete. He understands the corner position. You can tell he just gets in receivers' hip pockets, and he stays there. He's like a leech, dude. He's so sticky and man, and he's also a really good zone cover guy. So, yeah, Jermod McCoy is my number 1 favorite guy right now, for sure. I mean, Jesus, this dude can do it all. Number 12. Now, I kind of went back and forth with a couple things here. I almost went David Bailey here. I almost went Caleb Banks here, but I ended up settling on Jeremiah Love just because of the fact the explosiveness that Jeremiah Love brings is something you can't deny. I think they're just taking BPA here, and they need running back. It's not like they don't need running back. It's just maybe they need more secondary help than running back right now. I understand that, but Jeremiah Love, you cannot deny the highlights this guy brings. This dude is a walking highlight reel. He's so quick. He's fast. He is also powerful for his size. And, I don't really like the running back room that Dallas has right now. That's all. And I think plugging him in, it eases a little bit of cap too, because then you don't have to worry about re-signing some of these guys. So, yeah, Jeremiah Love is maybe one of the best prospects also. I think it's Jermod McCoy, Jeremiah Love, Ruben Bain, Sonny Styles. That's it to me, that are just truly polished coming out. So I really like the potential of what Jeremiah Love could do there in Dallas's offense. Number 13, I have Mentor Delane. Now, in terms of overall corner attributes, I think Dwayne is less of a corner than I believe Jermod McCoy is, but he's still really good. He's physical. He's so lanky. He's a great cover guy. He's a great zone guy. He reminded me a lot of Sauce Gardner, which is going to be weird to say that, but I mean, the way he breaks up passes and uses his arm length to his advantage is amazing. He is physical through the contact of receivers. He knocks a lot of passes out just being truly physical through receivers' bodies. So I think somebody like that could be very valuable to an LA defense that is all about physicality with that line with Jared Verse, Byron Young, you know. So I think he could fit in that defense stupendously. Number 14, I have Vega Ioane. Now, the reason for this being, I mean, dude, Daniel Falale sucks, okay? Their offensive line is kind of depleted, and he could play tackle, you can move him to guard, wherever. You just need offensive line help, wherever you can get it. Vega Ioane is definitely that. You got to protect Lamar. We've seen it, you know, this year with Lamar. He was definitely more pressured than what we're used to seeing. And I mean, Lamar's an amazing athlete, so it's not like it was, you know, too much to him, but at some point, Lamar can't be doing everything back there. You got to protect him. You got to give him time to throw because we all know what he can do when he has time to throw. So Vega Ioane is a plug-and-play guy. He's dominant. He's a good physical runner. He's great in the power run game, which I think will fit Baltimore perfectly. Jesse Minter's coming in. You got a new offensive coordinator, Declan Doyle. You're going to want to establish that power run with Derrick Henry, obviously. So, yeah. Vega Ioane, I think, is like the perfect Raven guard to me. So, I mean, it's kind of a match made in heaven. 15, I have an edge rusher going here. I have TJ Parker out of Clemson. Another team that kind of struggled to get after the quarterback. I know you got Vita Vea in the middle there, but outside of Vita Vea, what was really the production? I really like TJ Parker's ceiling also. He's quick around the edge. He has good bend, and he could set the edge in the run game too. You know, he's not just a pass rushing guy. He has good power. He uses his hands well. He was always up in the faces of linemen, swatting and, you know, getting down under them. So he's just probably the best fit for Tampa Bay overall. Like I said, I mean, yeah, you got Yaya Diaby, Vita Vea, but they're like, Yaya Diaby isn't really producing. TJ Parker, I think, can come in and be a good day one starter, to be honest. And if not, at the very least, be a rotational pass rusher to keep guys fresh. You just got to get after the quarterback if you're Tampa Bay. At number 16, I have Jordan Tyson going here. You know, they took earlier, we seen Ruben Bain. Now you're going the offensive side of the ball. Jordan Tyson, he's phenomenal with the ball in his hands. I mean, this dude is just a straight rack guy. He can make people miss. He's a human highlight reel, I like to call him. I actually put that down in my notes as human highlight reel. He has phenomenal body control. He's a fluid route runner. I mean, this dude, like, the way his body moves when he's running his routes is incredible. He has good ball tracking skills. There was a lot of passes that I seen that went over his head, and he just kind of watched over his shoulder, tracked it down. It's amazing what he can do. He has really, really good instincts as to where the ball is going to be, and I think that, you know, somebody like that could help Garrett Wilson out. You need somebody else over there in New York. You need another playmaker, and I think Jordan Tyson can be that. You know, if you truly think Justin Fields is your guy, which is his time's kind of ticking with Justin Fields, I got to be honest, but, you know, there's still a sliver of hope there. If you truly think Justin Fields is your guy, you want to maximize his potential by getting him weapons, building up that defense, you know, so he's not always playing from behind. Jordan Tyson will help out that offense no matter what. At 17, highly requested by the co-host actually of Between the Hashes podcast, I'm going to go Caden Proctor here. Lions need offensive line help. He moves people in the run game. He kind of has that Dan Campbell feel to him. He's a big guy who doesn't get moved off a spot on pass reps. He has great physical hands to defenders. And, I mean, just like, you know, Francis Mauigoa earlier, he rarely lets defenders touch him first. And like I said, he's just a Dan Campbell type of player. You got to protect Jared Goff. His time's also coming up. Your Super Bowl window starting to close. You got to go all in here. Caden Proctor definitely helps day one. So why not go Caden Proctor? At 18, now I kind of debated who I wanted to put here as well. I just think overall, corner help was the main thing I seen from the Vikings this year, so I'm going to go Avion Terrell. He creates fumbles. He's a turnover machine, dude. Like, he was stripping the ball out of people left and right. I mean, every other play with this guy, he was creating a fumble. and he has good instincts to the ball. He watches the quarterback well. He sticks to receivers' hip pockets. He's super, super sticky, and man, he always has his eyes on the QB. He's also an amazing athlete when the ball is thrown his way in the air. He uses his arms to his leverage, just like, earlier when we talked about Mentor Delane. Avion Terrell is another corner kind of like that, just smaller frame, but he plays bigger than his frame would suggest. So you got to get corner help. You got to get guys that can shut down. Avion Terrell is that guy. Number 19, I have David Bailey. You need pass rush. It's in the trenches is so important to me, and maybe that's what's influencing my picks with where I'm putting some of these guys, like some of these pass rushers like TJ Parker and all of these guys. But pass rush to me is so important to me, because getting after the quarterback is the number one thing you could do in the National Football League. We've seen what it did to Mahomes in the Super Bowl, so everybody wants to create that kind of pressure, So David Bailey, I think, is super good for Carolina. He's lanky. He's got good bend. He's quick. He's got good power. He does kind of lean on the spin move quite a bit watching him. I mean, every time he beat a lineman, it was kind of with the spin move. So we'll see what he can develop outside of his spin move. I think he has high potential. So maybe that's kind of why he falls for me to 19, is just where he's at right now. But his potential is super high. Like I said, outside of his spin move, he doesn't really have much of a pass rush forte. He's just more raw athlete. So we'll see what he could do with that. But I think that building in the trenches is so important. David Bailey's a good athlete with a high ceiling. So yeah, you got another pass rusher coming off the board here, Keldrick Falk. Keldrick Falk is maybe kind of the opposite of David Bailey, where David Bailey's more raw. I think Keldrick Falk is more polished. He's got good power. He's an amazing run defender. He's a fast speed rusher, man. He's pretty damn quick off the ball. And he also has super, super good power. He's good with his hands. So I like that. I like that pick overall. At 21, I have Caleb Banks. Now, Caleb Banks, watching him, he has surprising finesse for his size. He's got good low-to-ground center of weight. He uses good leverage in his hands. He's got a good bull rush. He pushes through offensive linemen quite often. And you got to think Cameron Hayward isn't going to be there forever. I think this is a spitting image of Cameron Hayward, in my opinion, watching his film. This dude, just reminded me of him. Watching him, I was like, dude. Like, Jesus, you can't even get closer to a player than Caleb Banks. So why not fill a role that you're going to end up needing anyway with a guy who reminds you of the guy you have now? Makes sense. Next, to the Chargers, I know they need offensive linemen. And I was thinking, maybe they could take a guy like Caleb Lomu. I just think it's a little too early. Monroe Freeling, I also think it's just too early. So I think they're just going to go BPA. And we're going to go Caden McDonald. You got to bolster that defensive line. Caden is a powerful run. A lot of these defensive linemen are good run defenders. Usually I look at defensive linemen and they're just, one-trick ponies and they're just straight to the quarterback and they can't really set the edge on runs. But a lot of these defensive linemen in this class are super, super good in the run. So if you need a run defender on the line in the front seven, this is the year to definitely get it. He disrupts the pass lanes. He's hard to move off of his feet once he gets set. There was a bunch of plays where I'd see that he jumped up and, he got in the way of the quarterback and he knocked passes down. So I think the Chargers could definitely use somebody like that. Joey Bosa isn't there anymore. Khalil Mack getting older, right? So you got to get somebody back on that defensive line to replenish it. Caden McDonald could definitely do that. Moving on to Philadelphia at 23, I have Cassius Howell here. I think he just fits the Philadelphia mold. They're all about building in the trenches. They're all about building, in the muddy, the dirty positions. And Cassius Howell is that, dude. He's a speed rusher, so he's not more so built on power. He's more of a speed guy. You could tell turning on his tape. He's got good bend around the corner. He uses his hands efficiently and effectively, like he's always up in the pads of linemen, swiping down hands. He can get down low and under linemen. A lot of plays I've seen, it was just a straight speed, straight to the edge, and he beat the lineman to the edge around the corner. So Cassius Howell is super, super polished, in my opinion. He's going to be super good at, getting to the quarterback, which I think Philadelphia loves to draft. I know they have guys, but who knows if Jalen Phillips is going to be there long term? You never really know. So I'm just projecting that Jalen Phillips is leaving. So Cassius Howell at 23, I think is an amazing fit. Another amazing fit I really like here is Kenyon Siddick. at 24. David Njoku's already said that he's not coming back. Like, it's just publicly said he's not coming back. So, and, you know, you bring in Todd Monken, who likes the two tight end sets. You've seen it in Baltimore with Likely and Mark Andrews. So, why not go Harold Fannin and Kenyon Siddick? I mean, this dude's physical. He'll run over defenders. He's surprisingly good with the ball in his hands. He's basically a slot receiver who just happens to play tight end, in my opinion. He is so good off the line, in line, you know, on the ball, off the ball. Like, he's just so versatile in where you could use him. And I think the Browns could use somebody like him after already taking, you know, Spencer Fanu earlier. Go with the offensive playmaker. Stay on the offensive side of the ball. Truly try to maximize what Shador could do for you, you know. So, Kenyon Siddick, I love this fit here at 24. 25, now, okay, originally I had CJ Allen here, and the more I watched this tape, I gotta be honest, I was not impressed with him. I gotta be honest. Like, yes, he plays good in flashes. I understand that. And yes, the potential maybe, right? But in my opinion, I just didn't like what he put on film for me. It kind of pushed me away from putting him here at 25. And instead, I still went the same position, but I went Anthony Hill. Anthony Hill was, in my opinion, better than CJ was, and you know, it's no diss, but he could play as a 5-tech. Anthony Hill can. He could play down on the line, and you know, he has a good awareness and feel for the ball. He could diagnose plays fairly early. He has good closing speed, getting to the quarterbacks and chasing ball carriers. Like, if plays went on for a bit of time, like Anthony Hill was the first guy there. And I don't know, I really wanted to go CJ Allen here, but the more I dove into the film, the more I was like, there's nothing really here for me that stands out. And there's nothing really here for me that I could truly say, yes, I would put him at 25 over Anthony Hill. So I ended up switching the pick. 26, this is going to kill me. Buffalo, Denzel Boston. I really want Denzel Boston to go to New England. Patriots fan, obviously, if you guys are new here. But I think he's going to go to Buffalo. He's a Buffalo prototype receiver, I believe. He's quick movements. He has good cuts and routes. He can make guys miss. He's fluid for his size. He's an excellent body control receiver. He can truly just go up and get the ball. He's a good burner. I just think this is a Buffalo Bill pick if I've ever seen one, unfortunately. I hate the Bills, okay? I hate the Bills. But I think he's going to go to the Buffalo Bills, unfortunately. And it sucks because I want him to go to New England, but like, whatever, right? 27, I have KC Concepcion here. You know, another team that is in need of receiver. Brandon Ayuk, no longer a 49er. John Lynch just came out and publicly said, like, yeah, he's probably done. So you got to replenish that room. You're going to get George Kittle back. Keep building around Brock Purdy. You know, he's the guy, obviously. They've kept him for this long, so he's the guy. Keep building around him. That defense is still good. I could see them going Lee Hunter. I could see them going, you know, Caleb Lomu here. Christian Miller, I think could also go here. Any pick you guys think they could go here, I wouldn't even disagree with you. I just think KC Concepcion fits a little bit better. So that's who I ended up just picking, and we'll see how that changes throughout, you know, the next month or so. 28 to the Texans, I have Caleb Lomu going. We see what CJ Stroud did in the playoffs. Not great. I mean, yes, New England's defense is amazing, and, you know, credit to my team, whatever, but you got to keep CJ Stroud upright. You can't be allowing the Patriots. I'm sorry, but if our front seven, and I love Milt and I love Christian Barmore, but our edge rushers aren't really the best, and we were getting to CJ Stroud fairly easy and fairly often, so you got to protect him. Caleb Lomu, I think, does that. You got a kind of an aging tackle, so just kind of fill the hole as it comes. Caleb Lomu is so good in pass pro. And he's a good run blocker. He just overall fits what, you know, they want to do over there. At 29, I have Monroe Freeling. Kind of the same reason as the Texans. You got to protect Matthew Stafford. He's coming back. Got an aging offensive line. So I'm just trying to bring some youth in there. And, you know, you took a corner earlier. So, yeah, you took Mentor Delane earlier. Now you go offensive side of the ball. Can't really go wrong here. At 30, I have Lee Hunter. You know, outside of Nick Bonito, I don't think the Broncos really had a lot of true pass rush generated. I think Lee Hunter can come in and you know, bolster his numbers up. He's a true pressure machine. And I should have clicked on it before I drafted him. But I really like his ceiling. A lot of these guys, like I said, I'm drafting based on ceiling and where I think they could end up being once they're drafted. So we'll see how it ends up. But I really like Lee Hunter here. I think he fits what the Broncos want. He can generate pressures. He can, get to the quarterback. He's a good power guy. He's big. So I really, really, really love Lee Hunter. 31, the Patriots. Now, we need offensive line. We need corner. We need receiver. I wanted to go Denzel Boston, but I mocked them to the Bills. I want Casey Concepcion. Went to the Niners. So where do we go here? Caleb Lomu's off the board. Monroe Freeling's off the board. I ended up going with Brandon Cisse, and I think he's a super, super good corner. We got to try to get somebody on the other side of Christian Gonzalez, help him out, maybe move Carlton Davis into a slot role, keep Marcus Jones at the nickel. So we got to get another big body guy, another guy that can, truly shut down a receiver. And I think Brandon Cisse is that. I really, really like his potential. He's so quick, and, he's definitely not the best corner, but in terms of how the board's falling, I think he's the best fit for New England, and I think he'll fit a Zach Kerr defense so well. All right, that leaves us with the last pick in the first round, the Seattle Seahawks. I have been going Akeem Mesidor. I know this dude's 25. I don't care. This dude is so polished. I don't think the age matters to me, and he's so good getting after the quarterback. Like I said, I understand he's 25, okay? I get it, but to me, production will always outweigh age. You got to take the production guy, even if that means, him being a little bit older. It's whatever, right? Yes, that could maybe push him out of the first round, but I don't think it will. I think he's good enough to, keep him in the first round. So, yeah, this is my first mock draft. Obviously, we'll tweak with it, see how things go. We still got free agency, so let me know what you guys think. And, what would you change, if you were drafting? I hope you guys enjoyed, though. If you want to subscribe, I'd love to have you on the channel. Seriously, always looking to have more people talk football with me, so maybe consider subscribing and joining. If you guys enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, share it to your grandma. Maybe she's an Arvell Reese fan, I don't know.